Butler Cubs Athletic Association. It's a coaches roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guest, Butler High School senior volleyball player Sophia Lucas. Sophia, thanks for joining us. We've had coaches on, athletic directors, doctors, psychologists. Now it's time to get a student perspective. Let's go back to the spring when sports were canceled. What was the tone and the attitude of your fellow student athletes about the shutting down of the spring sports?
Well, I know a lot of the students, they were just thinking that it was just going to be like a 1-week break and then we'll be going right back to school. But then as it progressed, we saw everything starting to shut down, and then we were like, oh, this is deeper than we thought it is. And then one thing after another, and then everyone was very upset to see their spring seasons canceled for sure. But
So now we're approaching the fall, and what are your concerns about coming into this fall school year, athletic year? What are you concerned about, and what are your fellow student athletes telling you?
I know that a lot of us just want to be able to play because, I mean, that's what we've worked for all this time, and it's senior year, so that's what you look forward to. But academics-wise, I would love to get back to school because I personally do not like the online schooling.
I was going to ask you that, online versus in person.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the in person just because it's nice having human interaction all the time. And you don't see as many as your friends anymore, so that's sad, but I mean, you got to work with what you got.
Well, the social interaction is very important. It's part of your development and learning about yourself and others. So let me ask you, if they don't have school, you're going to stay away from your friends?
I'm going to try not to. I mean, we'll still get together here and there, but I mean, if we have to go online again, we have to go online, I guess.
Well, Governor Wolf said if there's only online instruction, there should be no sports. What are your feelings about that?
That's what makes me really upset because I would love to play my senior year. Even if it does get pushed to the spring, which if that does happen, I'm fine with that because we still get to play. But I just want to get to play one last time.
So right now, Butler is planning on both alternatives, in-person instruction and online. Do you know many students that are going to opt for the online only?
I know one or two that have opted to go online, but most of them just want to get back in a classroom.
So any athletes who will say, I want to stay at home online, are they going to be allowed to play?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, it's just, I mean, since it's their choice with what they're comfortable with, then technically they're still going to school, so they just make it work with what they want.
Let me ask you, when you hear some people say, older people say, teenagers, they don't care about COVID-19, they're careless, they don't take precautions, social distancing or mask. When you hear that, what's your response to that?
I mean, me personally, I know that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, I guess it's just stereotypical for them to say that. But, I mean, everyone that I know has been taking the correct precautions towards everything, and, I mean, if that's what they think, then that's what they think. Like,
do you have any idea what the in-class instruction is going to be like, the configuration of the classroom? Have they told you at all?
I know that they want to, like, keep kids in classrooms so they're not, like, rotating throughout the school. So, like, I think for lunch, they're saying, like, we will eat in the classroom. We have fifth period, so not everyone's heading to the cafeteria.
So this senior year is very important to you. You have siblings that are in college. Of course, you have a brother that plays baseball at Allegheny. Your sister is at Shippensburg, and all those programs have been shut down. What have they said to you about that?
I know they're very upset about it because especially for my older sister, Gabby, who's going to Grove City, this would be her first year. And I know she was really looking forward to playing, and same with my other two. But, yeah, I know it's difficult for them because that's what they look forward to going back.
So has Grove City shut down their athletics?
Yeah, they just canceled their season not too long ago.
And all sports for Grove City?
I think just their fall sports.
Just the fall sports. Okay,
Yeah.
we did not hear that about their football program and the other sports. Now this is your senior year, very important to you. You have aspirations of going on to college, and I know last year your volleyball team was very young. We did your volleyball match with Seneca Valley. You have you're back, Ava Carney, and a number of other girls. Very confident about this year, and of course, very important for you to play.
Yeah.
And how do you feel stacking up against powerhouse North Allegheny?
Hey, I love the competition. I mean, it's fun to play against kids like that just hammer the ball at you, because whenever you dig it and get it up, it's a great feeling.
So you won't start until when? Has been WPL has said you can start when, August 14th? Is that it?
Yeah, I think, well, like our first match is going to be September 15th, and that's going to be against North Allegheny, I'm pretty sure.
And then you're limited in a number of matches that you can play this year.
Yes.
How do you feel about the WPL saying no fans, no parents, no one in the stands?
I feel both feelings about it, because in a way it's good because you don't have them chirping the entire time at the players and the refs and the coaches. But, I mean, it's nice having them and their support there and encouraging everyone. So
I'm sure you knew a lot of the seniors last spring who had their spring sports canceled, boys volleyball, baseball, track, so on. How did some of the seniors, how did things work out for them?
well, for most part, most of those seniors, I know, like for the track team, I have a friend and he was already committed, so he wasn't too concerned about what was going to happen with that. But most of the time, like most of them have been able to go to the track and keep running their trials. And I know the track coaches have worked with the track team, and they've made just some little meets where they could try and set the records for the seniors that won't get their chance to break records this year.
Sophia, you have already some schools in mind that you're interested in continuing your education volleyball career?
Yes, I'm actually already committed to Clarion.
Oh, Clarion University.
Yes.
Good for you. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, and let's hope this season comes through. We'd like to get up there and televise your volleyball match with Powerhouse North Allegheny. You girls are going to really be good this year.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. I'll be right back with Ellen George. I'm back, joined to my right by the Swami George Abraham, to my left by the Tiger Albert Campman. Guys, we've had all kinds of people on the show, from doctors and coaches and psychologists. It was good to get a perspective of students and their attitude. In this case, Sophia Lucas, I'm sure she represents a large segment of student athletes, and she's ready to go and be very disappointed if this season would be canceled.
I think most athletes are saying that because they're young, energetic, want to play. I get that. But from an older guy's perspective, I look at her as a young, vibrant girl,
Yes.
and I want her to be healthy. So that's all. I'm on the other side of that, Eddie. I'm kind of leery what's going on.
Well, let's go to Spotlight and take a look at high schools and see, first of all, what the PIAA said. They gave the go-ahead to play high school sports, no fans. That means no parents. There's some controversy there. An athlete who tests positive for COVID, the team must shut down for 14 days. Listen, the final say-so is going to come down to Governor Wolf. He's already suggested no contact sports this fall, and he's also suggested those schools that have only online instruction, no sports.
Good point, Ed. That's exactly right. I'm hoping that doesn't go into the decision.
Pittsburgh City schools, all online. So now this is not a mandate, it's a suggestion. So they haven't made a determination yet what they're going to do with their sports.
A follow-up, Eddie, on what you mentioned a couple minutes ago. It's be interesting what happens when two kids come down with it. Two boys, two girls. I want to hear the protocol, what they're going to do.
It's a 14-day shutdown.
Yeah, but I'm talking the school starts getting a little scared now all of a sudden.
And another thing,
so
you're both hitting a good points, because if it takes 2 weeks to get the test back, see, these pro teams, they get to test in hours.
it does take 2 weeks.
Well, they
It
did.
does.
Well, they get it in hours.
Oh,
That's
no,
the difference.
they do.
That's
They
what
do.
I'm
But high
saying.
school
Normally
should
it's
take
seven to 10 days.
They did the nursing homes around here. It took 13 days. Well, you're done anyway.
If you're general public, plan on close to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
My daughter had to take that, and her friends had to do it. They wanted it back in 4 days. They were waiting still 11 days later. So
And what are you supposed to do in between? Just lay low in case?
That's all you have to.
You have to.
No, you
Okay.
have to. That's what I'm saying.
All sports are to be finished by Thanksgiving. District playoffs will be shortened. A school that opts out of a contest because of concern for COVID-19, it's ruled a no contest, not a forfeit.
Well, they do have restrictions in place. I'll give them credit. They are trying to think it through, but they can't stay up with it. That's the part. Just when you thought baseball had to figure it out, St. Louis gets a runaway freight train.
Yeah, well,
You know,
we're going to get to that. Now, let's look what WPL says, District 7. Football season, 7 games. Week 0 is canceled. Season delayed 2 weeks. It opens September the 10th. And the playoffs are reduced. We mentioned that before. Top 4 only in 6A. 5A, 4A, 3A, 1A, top 2, maybe a couple of wild card teams. In 2A, just the top 2. If there's no state playoff, only section champs and maybe a wild card for district playoffs. That's
well, Eddie,
it.
the COVID is a scary thing, but that might be the best thing come out of it. I like playoffs
Reduce
for 2 teams,
the-
reduce
right.
playoffs.
But
You
winning
know,
records.
Yeah, we like that. I like that. I like that. I know the fans and coaches don't. But as a sports guy, I like seeing the best in the playoffs. I really do.
It's playoffs. That's the idea.
Winning team.
Yeah.
Not teams with 3-7, 2-8
should
records.
never-
And there's a lot of them, Eddie. If it was just a couple, you understand, when you get 4 out of 5 teams going to the playoffs, you are going to have 3-7 records.
It'll eliminate those 55-6
Yes.
first-round playoff games. Now, districts 9 and 10, they remain on schedule. That means for Butler, September 4th, they open up with Erie at home. I took a ride Sunday up to Erie. They got games up there. That's a long, long bus ride that they're going to have. Butler's Blackhawk scrimmage canceled. Their week 0 game with Kiski is out, so Butler's looking for someone to fill the void there.
They're all the teams are. I'm getting calls from ADs that I never talked to in a while. Hey, if you hear of somebody can play, give me a call. So all the schools are looking for things like that, Eddie.
All the other fall sports will start around the middle of this month, but they're limited in the number of contests that they can play.
Well, kids want to play. You just saw it happen. That's what they want to do. As I said it 3 weeks in a row. I drive by practices, and the coaches are not paying attention to what they're supposed
I
to be
went
doing.
by band today on the way over, not one mask.
That's what I'm saying.
Not one mask.
So they say they want to play.
But you
George.
can't wear a mask and play an instrument.
No, I'm talking about the people
These
around
girls
there.
were the dance,
Oh, the dance.
Yes,
thing.
yes,
whatever they call it.
yes.
Here's
What do
another.
you call those, George?
Whatever.
Here's another league that shut down. The Western Pennsylvania Youth Football League has shut down their season. That's 7,000 youth football players will not play this fall.
Spring's coming, boys. I'm going to say it on the show again. I said it last week. I truly believe by the end of the time, they're going to say spring is going to be the place where we're going to play everything. That's what I see happening.
And then there's going to be controversy and arguments and animosity there because you push football into the spring, that means some of those kids aren't playing baseball. They're not out for track. And there are going to be lots of coaches that are going to be upset. And that means if you move girls volleyball there, those girls are in track and other sports. There are going to be a lot of upset coaches.
Well, hopefully, Illinois, they have spring 1 and spring 2. They're playing only 6 or 7 games. They're not playing all. Not
You're
playing.
going to have to lower the contest.
Yeah.
in order
So
to
it
accommodate.
doesn't override. That's the object.
I think they haven't been in PA in March much if they think they're going to get a lot out of March.
So if the quarterback in the football team happens to be the number 1 star pitcher on a baseball
probably
team,
is.
what do you do now? Because a lot of those.
I would imagine you'd share them. The lousy guys they run off, what the coaches are good. The coaches are famous for that. They'll run some guy off that can't play. But if you get a guy that's good enough, they'll let him do both.
Let's go to our stories of the week. The Pens start off in that first game against the Canadians, the 24th seed. They lose 3-2 in overtime on a goal by Jeff Petrie. The Pens, a 5-on-3. They went a minute and 32 seconds, only had 1 shot. 1 for 7 on a power play. Of course, the regular season, they were terrible with it, too. Why would you expect it to be any different? It was their 7th straight playoff loss. Montreal goalie, Casey Price, it looked like the Pens were going to overrun them early on, and then they lost their aggressiveness. I don't know, because maybe the ice got a little slushy, but they just didn't
Was it only
attack.
slushy on the one end?
Yeah,
Oh,
and Montreal, taking a page out of last year's playoffs, they attacked. So they come away with that first win, and the statistics show when you win that first of a 5-game series, you have an 82% chance of winning the series.
That percentage is going out because Pittsburgh's going to win the next 3. They're out playing Montreal. They have a hot goalie, Murray. I don't see Montreal lasting past 3. Pittsburgh's out playing them all over the ice, but their special teams is killing them. You're right, Eddie. Now they just get the special team moved a little bit. Then you're going to see 4-1 wins, 5-1 wins.
Yeah.
I just think the better team.
It looked more like the Pens than a 3-1
And
win.
you can't use a historical reference because it was 2-2-1. See, in the old days, if you just got that split, you had a chance to end it at home.
Yes.
Now with
Now
all of them
you're
on
on.
a neutral, I don't think you can use history. And the Pens are the better team.
And they were more aggressive. They had 37 shots
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
compared
what
to
I'm
20,
saying.
27.
There's the better team.
And Murray, he was, I think, unduly criticized in that first game. He didn't get a lot of help from his teammates. And then I'm mystified, the criticism of Hornquist. First of all, he missed a lot of the camp. That would be on Sullivan then if he knew he wasn't in the best playing shape. Why did he play him then?
Yeah, don't come out and say two things like
don't
that.
put it
Just
on
either play him or
Hornquist.
don't play him, but don't pick out one player. This is a team sport all the way. The Penguins have a hot goalie though. I mean, they're talking about Price. Murray is really playing tremendous right now.
26
I would have
out
played
of
Jari,
27
and I got
shots.
to admit they made the right choice. Murray's been outstanding, and the Penguins' talent and Murray together, they're going to win.
Pretty good when he stopped 26 out of 27 shots, and I think 13 of them in the third period.
Oh, yeah, that's – well, Carey Price stopped theirs in the first game.
Yes.
They had a ton of
Yeah,
shots
they did.
on him early, but as you guys said, we've talked about hot goalies there for years.
So the series is tied 1-1 now, and the Pens look more. The Crosby's looked sharp. He's had 2 goals in the first 2 games. Major League Baseball, the Pirates swept in Chicago with their Punch and Judy hitting attack. And Sunday's 2-1 11-inning loss. Starting pitcher Stephen Brault, 3 innings, no hits, pulled him out, said he's worried about his arm. Last year, pitchers averaged 87 pitches per outing. This year, they're averaging 76. There have been a lot of pitchers injured in Major League Baseball this year.
Well, for the Pirates to win any games, they're going to have to go against what teams are doing. They are going to have to say, we're going to put our starting pitchers one every 6 days, and they're going to pitch as long as they can, and we'll give you 5 days off. Because they cannot continue to go 4 innings and go to that darn bullpen. See, everybody else is doing it in Major League Baseball because they have good bullpens. Pittsburgh's bullpen stinks so badly. So I'm telling
They
hey,
have
Shelby.
16 pitchers.
Hey, Shelby, pitch your starting pitcher as long as you can and give him time off.
The guy had thrown 3 perfect innings. He only threw like 8 balls, and they yanked him because they said they were going to yank him.
Last
How
night,
about
Holland.
watching how he's doing?
Holland pitched great. They pulled him. I'm just saying, starters, keep going. Tell your coach. Coach, leave me
Wanna
in.
stay
This,
Leave
is,
me
this
in.
is how the game has changed.
I know,
The average
immensely.
number of pitches last year, 87. When we were growing up,
Oh.
it was about 120.
Oh, yeah, they didn't count pitches. They just said, he's throwing good.
Well,
Just keep him out there.
how many did Spawn and Marichal throw in that 18-inning
Yeah.
marathon that they pitched?
Who threw
Spawn was
230 once? One of
Ro-
those
Nolan
guys.
Ryan.
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan.
This is before games.
Yes.
He pitched 200 pitches, lots of games.
Oh, my.
Yeah, the game has changed so much, they're going to tell you. I mean, here's what they try to run down my throat, Eddie, that the relievers are good. Please, I follow it every night. They stink. Now, the closing reliever is good, but 6, 7, they all stink. There's runs in the 6th, 7th inning all the time.
And I'm going to say it again. If the pitching is so good, how come there have been 4 straight years of record home runs
Yeah, I know.
being
And they
hit in the
give
game?
odds on the first 5 innings for a reason.
Yeah, they do.
They know how bad the
Oh,
bridge
yes.
is.
If you're going to bet
That's true,
bet a
Ed.
team, bet the starting pitcher that day for 5 innings.
Yeah,
Yes.
And when Spawn pitched those 18 innings, he was 41 years old.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the game is so different.
Didn't miss the next start. It's not the game that. But
No, it's a different game.
Now all doubleheaders are 7 innings. Okay.
I'm the wrong guy.
the-
That's not Major League.
No, the Pirates go into Minnesota 2-7. They lose their 5th straight. They blow a 4-0 lead in the 6th inning. They lose 5-4. They're 2-8 and on pace for a 12-48 season.
Well, it's not a surprise. You look at the team they put out there.
Right.
The bullpen stinks to all heaven. The hitters. And where was it? They hired a new hitting coach and a new pitching. He said they didn't do spin rate enough,
Spin rate.
and the hitters didn't have the upswing.
Velo.
Yeah.
Velo.
Yeah,
It's a
all of a sudden, it's not the coaching. It's Nottingham, until
No,
Nottingham
they can't
puts
play.
their players out
Right.
there.
Eddie, 6 guys under 160 in the lineup.
Don't you miss the days of Chuck Tanner and Jim Leyland when Tanner sent up John Milder that time, a left-hander with the bases loaded against a left-handed pitcher, and he bombed a grand slam to win? They said to Tanner, "What was your thinking there?" He said, "I didn't have any thinking. I had a hunch." If
There's no
the
hunches
manager
today.
said
Zero
that
hunches.
today,
Zero hunch. Eddie.
what you have to
Eddie.
call up
Hunch
and get the
Hunch will
analytics?
get you fired.
Eddie.
No. Hunch will get you fired.
Guys up for the Tigers last week. I happened to be watching Tigers Kansas City, which is my fault. And they flash a stat. He hasn't hit a ball more than 200 feet in 100 at bats. He hits a number to third, and they had a shift on like McCovey was up. Just rolled.
That's why I do not enjoy the game
You can't.
today.
The game
I
is
do not enjoy
completely
it.
different. But if you listen close to what George said, don't think that because Garrett Cole's pitching, they're going to win that day. Because he's
out
he's
after
going
5.
out of 6 innings. You understand? They're just lucky they have a
He's
great
done.
bullpen. They're not.
Yeah.
The starters mean zero.
Eddie.
They take them all out.
Last night, Cole pitched. You had to put 33 down to win 10. No, that's not a bet.
That's crazy. Hey, Miami now, 20 players and coaches, COVID-19. I put this on Manfred, Major League Baseball. They should have never played any games in Miami
Right.
because it was a hot spot. The Marlins have played only 3 games. They've had 7 canceled. They should be the first team to be told, guys, have a nice rest of your summer, go home. How many teams are going to be eliminated during this season because Manfred says we're not giving up, we don't want to quit, we want to play on? That tells me there may be 4 or 5 teams, or they're going to send them home and they'll adjust the playoffs.
Okay, you taught history, Al. You followed sports forever. Leaders have certain qualities, whether it's on the battlefield, in the boardroom, or in baseball. This guy has no leadership.
George's been
quality.
on Manfred for a long time.
Long time.
St. Louis, 7 players with COVID-19, 6 staff members. They've had 4 games canceled. So I still look at there are going to be a number of teams that just are not going to make it to the end of the season.
Well, you see it heading that way. You'll see it heading that way.
See, the Nationals said they're not going to Miami.
You know what they're
the
afraid-
players are going to revolt.
Hey, guys, you know what they're afraid of? About 3 weeks from now, when their team's out of it, guys just quitting. They're
That could
really
happen.
afraid.
That could happen.
How about the Mets star outfielder?
Yeah, he just.
Cespedes, he just said he's not going to play anymore.
Well, wait, he doesn't show up at the game. They send security.
That's him.
The room's empty. He's gone. They call the agent. Oh, he opted out.
You know what's interesting about that? Is that he's a free agent. Somebody's going to sign him next year for about $27 million, and not because he can hit.
Yeah.
They don't care
Hey,
one kid about
I
his
got the
attitude.
best one, though. The GM who signed him, that chased him down and found out where he was his agent when he signed that contract.
That's pretty nice,
I told you about the Marlins pitcher last week.
Yeah.
They let him go. No one signed him. He's the richest paid player this year, $22 million.
Miami.
He's sitting somewhere relaxing and drawing $22 million.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett style down in Miami. I like it.
Let's move on to the NFL. 42 players have now opted out. 8 Patriots have opted out. And I give Belichick, they asked him about it. He said, I have respect for anyone who
You have to
opts
say
out.
that.
They come from different backgrounds, cultures, situations. He said, I never criticize any of them for doing that. Matthew Stafford now put on a COVID list, either has it or in contact. And the Eagles coach, Doug Peterson,
Yes.
he has
No symptoms,
COVID.
but no symptoms.
Yeah, and that's the scary part. The no symptoms. Lucky he's tested every day, like people are. Because if he didn't, the whole team would be. You don't know who has it. You know,
Doesn't
that's-
a running back have it too? One of their running backs.
all their teams.
Is this Staley?
No, he's taking
Deuce is
over.
coach. He took
Oh,
over.
he's taking over.
He's the
Okay,
coach.
he's
He
taking
took
over.
over. Yeah, he took over.
What's the NFL learning from Major League Baseball? I would say this. Don't play in Miami. Miami, you play nothing but road games.
That's a good point.
You have to.
I think you have to do that. George talked about leadership. You have to step up and say that you can't make your appearance in Miami.
Veteran offensive tackle Nate Solder, who was on those Super Bowl teams with the Patriots, with the Giants, he's opted out. And Tom Brady, hope you're listening. Your veteran left tackle for Tampa has opted out. Your fill-in is a rookie from Iowa. Good luck.
Good luck for sure. That back come from the backside. It's the truth.
2 Steelers test positive.
Yeah.
I like what Mike Tomlin said. Each player has to be responsible.
I told Al the other day we were talking about this. You know, the guys in the bubble knew bubble.
Right.
I'm not sure baseball and football realize you basically can't leave your home. But
Well-
it is going to be that way.
National Hockey League, they've tested so many players, no positives.
Well, they're in the bubble.
They're in the bubble,
Yeah.
same in the NBA. Well, let's talk about the NBA. So I like to check the ratings, and they said they were good. I don't know what good means. The Lakers Clippers had a 2.1 share, and our executive producer should know this, 3.35 million viewers. Is that something to get excited about?
Well, if they had on cornhole, it would be less. That's the way they look at it.
Yeah, they're comparing us. Yeah, that's what they're comparing.
Yeah,
what
they compared
was on
it.
before
Yeah.
till now.
See, they were throwing stuff on there. 1989 strongman competition.
But overall, in the past year, the NBA, let me go this, their return doubleheader on Turner Sports drew an average of 2.9 million viewers. Overall, from a year now, the TV ratings are down 12%. TNT's been hammered, 26%, ESPN 6%, and now controversy emerged. I talked to you about it. The NBA pushing for the Black Lives Movement, and then they have a big relationship with China. There's billions of dollars involved. Now some former players have come out. The one black player, did you see him, George? I can't remember his name, said there's hypocrisy here because in China there's a great deal of religious persecution going on, and at the same time the NBA supports its relationship with China.
You end up like Wojo and be suspended. You better watch what you say.
Turn your head to money. They ain't turn your head
What
to money.
Michael Jordan
Yeah.
say?
They're not turning their head to
What
money.
Michael Jordan say? White dudes buy shoes too. Republicans
Yeah,
buy shoes.
and now you see a number of players, including Stephon Tuitt, said his mother came from the Caribbean.
Sure.
He will not take a knee out of respect for the opportunity she had here in this country. And Drew Brees said he respects anyone, the teammates, but he's not going to either. So you still have some controversy within teams. And listen, they're adults; they ought to be able to respect one another.
Yeah, controversy. I don't see controversy. I see people just finally looking at each other and saying what you just say, Eddie. It's your choice. We'll do what you want to do. That's what's called. That's why we're sitting here in America
But a
talking
guy
about
like
something right
Tuitt
now.
shouldn't be criticized by his teammates because he wants to stand.
No, either way.
No.
No, he
No, either
shouldn't
way.
be.
No, exactly.
He shouldn't be.
No, either way.
College
But more
foot-
importantly, the other way.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody getting on somebody who is kneeling. That's
No,
the
you
part.
could say you don't like
You know.
it. You could say you don't like it, which a lot of people will say. That's a matter of preference there, how you feel about it. Hey, college football, how about this turn of events with the Pac-12? Over 150 players have organized, and they threaten to boycott the season unless they get a specific medical plan for the season and other improvements. So what do you do with these? Do you strip them of their scholarships? Or that's a dangerous thing for them to do. Or what kind of a plan do you come up with that they feel safe in playing?
Well, it's not dangerous to me. If I was their coach, go. I'll get 30 other players. If you
They
don't want
want
to
half
play,
the revenue.
hell, they may get $250,000 in scholarship. Go. I'll get somebody else to play. I'm such a dinosaur with that. That's what scholarship means. You're getting paid good money.
Well, when
to
you
play.
have that many players who say they're going to boycott,
I know.
that's a real threat to
It is.
the season. There's a lot more we want to cover about the ACC. We're going to get to that next week, but we have run out of time. Once again, thanks for joining us. We'll see you then.